Hi everybody and welcome to the first in-depth review on the channel. We're focusing on the US steering medium, the M26 Pershing. Fielded in World War II as a heavy tank, it was later reclassified as a medium, and the Pershing is a medium tank. It was intended as a replacement for the M4 series, starting out as an experimental vehicle, the T20, T22 and T23 series. It later became the T26, and here's the pilot model for the Pershing, the T26E1. It has some slight detail differences to the ones used in the war, the T26E3, which you can see here. This vehicle and the one shown in this photo are from the first platoon of Pershings used by units in the Second World War in the European theater of operations. And the Pershing was a huge difference compared to the M4. The biggest problem US tankers were facing were the guns and the armor, and this comes from the fact that some of the officers in the US Army were convinced that their tanks should not fight enemy tanks. That was the role of tank destroyers. That's why the M4 was basically used with a 75mm gun. The 76mm gun was fielded later in the war. But when the Pershing came about, 90mm was the norm of having on a tank. It's a good tank, a solid one. I have a camo skin mounted on my tank that's based on this one over here, Bucks, an M26 Pershing, shown on a victory parade in Czechoslovakia. Onto some gameplay now. First and foremost, for those of you who don't want to watch the full half an hour, you want to play this tank as a ridgeline warrior, use the gun depression, use the strong frontal armor on your turret, and that's basically it. For those of you who want to keep on watching, there will be a lot more to come. I have some very decent games, some fairly standard games, both as bottom tier and as top tier. And you end up with a nice game on mines. First up, Dead Rail, we're in a tier 9 match. Like I said, you want to use this one as a medium, as a ridgeline warrior. That means as a lower tier or mid tier medium, you want to go spotting first. Don't try to engage because your sides aren't thickly armored. You can be bent basically by anything on the battlefield, even tier 6 tanks. You have some good tracks on your side, big wide track runs. You have a lower hull, not as high up as the M4 or the M4A3 EZA, to tier 5 and 6 tanks that have preceded it. And you'll want to use the T20, which comes at tier 7, as a training tank for the Pershing. And likewise you will want to use the Pershing as a training tank for the Patton. The gameplay is very similar. You pop out over a ridge, expose as little of your tank as possible, and put a shot into the enemy tank, like I did on this IS-3. I'm gonna try to do the same on the M103 on the left. Can't get a shot now, too steep an angle, so I turn again, move up a bit over here, turn my turret to the left, peek over the shoulder and try to take a shot in. I managed to get a shot in, but it bounces off the mantlet. Reloading. And besides that first hit I haven't taken any other hits so far, so that's quite good. STI to my right means I have to move in quick. No shot on the IS-6, so moving in on this IS-3, load APCR just to be sure to pen, but I bounce on the utmost front of his spike nose. I do get a bounce as well on my mantlet, that's fine. I forget to switch back to AP when I pen this SU. That's not really necessary. The pen on the gun is good enough to go through anything at tier 7 and 6, but to be sure you can use some APCR, but it was a bit of a waste on this SU. Gun wise, you want the top gun as quick as possible, and same goes for the top turret. Being at tier 8 you meet tier 9s and tier 10s, and that means you don't want to be fighting it out with the 90mm gun, the M3 gun. It's a fine piece of equipment really, but not for those higher tier battles. You want to have a gun with a bit more alpha, a bit more penetration, and the Top Gun gives you that. You want to be fighting medium tanks mostly, not heavy tanks. You can see here the IS-6 is a pretty nasty opponent to slug it out with. You get some bounces on the side. I have fired 2-3 shots into him, but a lot of bounces, and again also this shot I only damage its tracks, so I'm quite fussed up with it now. I switch to APCR and then try to face hug him. Should he fire me, he might bounce off my mantlet. Luckily he gets killed quick, and that leads us to try to find out the strengths of the tank. Right now we're looking at it from the perspective of a T-44 mounting the LB1, the Top Gun on a T-44. And as you can see, it's all white everywhere. Any shot you take from a T-44 will pen. Any shot you take from a T-44, be it from the front, be it from the side, from the rear, will take hit points off you. But when you mount the gun down as low as possible at -10 degrees and you try to work a ridgeline like I'm doing over here, popping over, taking a shot, then moving back, the gun mantlet gets blue, the upper glasses might get a bit of blue, except for the machine gun port on the right. That's an obvious weak spot. But when you move back and forth, you might get an occasional bounce on your frontal glazes. Side scraping can be done, not recommended, but you have the tracks to catch some shots on. And here we're looking at it from the perspective of a Centurion. Same story. The Centurion will pen you anywhere, and it doesn't even need to use APCR. The Panther II, the German Tier 8 medium tank, same story as with the T-44 and the Centurion. It will pen you anywhere, and it doesn't even need to use the premium ammunition. Again, gun mantlet is the only thing that's making you giving you any chance on the battlefield. Against the Tiger II, weak spots on the gun mantlet as well, to the left and the right of the gun, but if he shoots your mantlet you might get a bounce. And again, hull down is the name of the game. Checking it out against another heavy tank, we're going to take a look at the IS-3 with the Top Gun mounted, the BL-9. It will shoot you anywhere. A platoon of IS-3s will completely chew you up, spit you out, dip you into some nice sauce, and then probably eat you again. You don't want to slug it out with a heavy, with an IS-3 or an IS-6 or whatever type of heavy there is in the game at Tier 8. You want to be fighting other tanks. The enemy's mediums, that's the main targets you want to get out. And as you can see, it's not a brawling tank either. It lacks a bit of speed. When you saw me circling that IS-6 in the game on that reel just now, it lacks a bit of speed. But, and it's getting a bit boring repeating that gun mantlet, it is the strong suit of the tank. You might get an occasional bounce from a T-54 on your gun mantlet, and even a T-62 will not reliably pen any part of the gun mantlet. It's not in the video today, but I've had a game where I was platooning with my M-Pros clan member JJK1981, and I got a bounce from a T-62 on the top of my turret, and I also managed to catch one shot of him on my tracks. So that's the gameplay, how you want to do it. Back into practice, Castilla, a Tier 8 match with top tier, have moved up over here. This IS is pushing pretty aggressively, takes a punishment for it. Leaving for the tank destroyers behind. No need to push over because I might expose my left to this T-34. Pushing in now, taking a shot, maneuvering out of sight. He takes another one for his troubles from the VK3001P, and he moves off the cliff. So I'm moving back. Haven't seen any of the red team apart from the IS, this KV4 and the T-34. One shot in, spot it, move back again. It's not a particularly good sniper, the Pershing, but it can do the job reasonably well. As long as you take a bit of care, let the reticule shrink fully down. That's how you want to play it. This T-29 is being a bit aggressive. Got one shot in from the SU. Then he got tracked by snipers sitting at the mill. He gets shot again, one into his back. And I think he gets killed now. Reviewing this this match, I have no idea why I decided to go down already, because I had a pretty good position on that slope. It got me shielded from any fire from the back. I should have stayed there, wait for camo to reset and only then move in. It's not a big loss, only one shot into me, but these are the moments that might cost you the game. Should it come to one-on-one on the end, it might be that little bit of hit points which just make you survive the game. APCR used on the KV into the idler wheel, or idler, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's the wheel that keeps the track tensioned, which is on the front of a KV, by the way, but you get the general idea. This shot goes in, but no penetration. KV taken out. Even a big tank like the KV, thickly armored, quite a bit of health, HP on him. He doesn't stand a chance against a lot of guns firing at him, even if there are tier 6s. So that's what you want to be doing too. In the Pershing, try to shoot the targets. Other vehicles on your team, other green tanks are going to as well. I shoot this T-43 and the VK behind me is doing quite a good job. As you can see, he's moving up with me. I take a shot. Here we go. One in on the T-43. He moves in and puts another shot in. And he moves back, gets a bounce off the front. I get another shot in, and the Yak Panther then gets the kill. And that makes for some pretty much focused fire on a T-43. He was full health just about 15 seconds ago, and now he's a smoldering wreck, really. Same goes for this Churchill gun carrier. One shot in. He then gets shot probably from the Yak Panther. I can safely put another shot in. I have the hit points left. Get a bounce from the E2 who's up at the mill. We're gonna see him in a second. And we're just gonna drive by this Churchill. Take a shot on the move. I have stabilizers fitted with the tank. The other equipment slots are a rammer to speed up on rate of fire and ventilation to improve the crew skills. And you can see it over here from this shot as well, that the stabilizers do help. I pop over the ridge, one shot in, and that's a kill. Simple game. Got me a second class medal. It's a typical run-of-the-mill game for a Pershing. Just about 2k damage done. And you should be able to do this actually every time in a tier 8 match. This one is on Oasis Palms. We have already put one shot into the T-25. I tried to shoot this M4A3E2 or Sherman Jumbo. And like with any American tank, the gun mantlet, the turret, that's the main strong part of your tank. Even the tier 6 mantlet bounces a shot from my tier 8 gun. We're focusing fire again on this Easy 8. A shot in from me. He then gets another shot into his side. He manages to land one into me, but I move past him and finish him off. And after I'm reloaded, I move around the other dune and shoot into the T-25. That's all we're going to see on this game. Actually, we win this one very comfortably, very easy, but I managed to get myself killed for being too cocky and trying to slug it out with a KV4 after having taken some shots from an IS-6. So the KV4 and the IS-6 are not the type of opponents you want to take out in the game, and like I mentioned, I think the enemy's mediums are the tanks you want to be taking out. I'm taking a look at the tier 8 mediums for a reason, because these are your natural enemies. And like they can pen me from pretty much every direction, I can do the same to them too. T-44 and Centurion have a strong upper plate, so does the Panther. But you can reliably pen them from pretty much any angle as long as you maneuver around a bit. Don't go trading hit points, don't go trading shots with them, that's a bad idea. Carnarvon, tier 8 heavy, bit of a different matter, having a strong upper glacis, but you can take him out as well if you want to. Here's the IS-3 we talked about before. Pike nose when facing straight towards you. It's blue, it's going to be red in the game, you can't pen it. But if he moves a bit, crests a hill, you can shoot the lower glacis, take out the driver, take out the tracks. Side armor, no problem really. And the frontal, if he does screw his cover up, you can shoot him as well. The broad-sided German tanks, the Tiger II and the VK, both of them easy to pen. Side of the turret, side of the hull, easy to pen. Frontal armor, not a good idea. Don't go in a frontal engagement with heavy tanks, especially with those with the sloped frontal armor. If you can shoot the lower glacis plate, shoot the transmission, that's fine. Shoot tracks, detrack enemy heavy tanks. And here you can see a T-34, monstrous big turret. T-32 has a bit thicker frontal plate as well. You don't want to slug it out with them unless you can use hull down position and shoot there. A lower glacis, shoot the transmission. Quick look at the KV-4 as the last one, because that one is a big massive armored tank. And you want to be facing him on the side. Try to shoot his turret dead on at a 90-degree angle, or otherwise you might bounce a lot. But that's the main opponents you want to fight. Tier 9s and T10s are obviously harder to get. But as with the armor strength of the M26, you get the general idea. You want to be facing the other enemy mediums, you want to take them out, and you want to take the occasional shot on heavies, or track them and let your tank destroyers and other heavies take care of them. Right, Lost Temple, a tier 10 match. Might seem hopeless being bottom tier in a tier 10 match. But if you take it easy and just slowly work your way around the map, that's fine. T-54 is the only one spotted. There's some support with me. There's a T-62 with T-54 spotted again, and a Centurion. I'm not a brawler. I'm not gonna slug it out, but I've checked the minimap and I'm checking behind me, and there's an OBG moving with me. The T-54 shoots now. I shoot him again. I'm moving up with him. OBJ follows me, but the T-54 moves away. Now here's a quick short course on how to lose 700 hit points and not being shot at, just boom, drive off a cliff. And that's the biggest derp moment of me in this video. I totally forgot there was a big slope over there. It wasn't on the original Lost Temple match. On the other side of that hill there would have been a nice rise just to drive over to make it easy to get off, but hey ho, onwards and upwards, let's keep moving on. The gun is quite good. On a Pershing you can you have to take your time a bit, let the reticule shrink, but when you have stabilizers fitted, that's fine. So you can take the shots out, you can reliably shoot enemy tanks. Taking out this Ferdinand, we missed a snapshot on the IS-7, and with APCR you can pretty much stand your ground in a tier 10 battle, because you can pen the turret of an IS-7 provided you can get to his sides, or he turns the turret, that's fine. You can't shoot the front like you can see here, but you can shoot the turret. and it gives you at least a fighting chance in tier 10. Not a lot's gonna happen in this match after that, so we win it anyway, but I just keep driving around in the lower area. On to Canal then, another tier 10 match. The natural habitat of a Pershing is the hill area over here. Drive along onto the edge, pop over, do some spotting, put one shot in, get a bounce. Like I said, a T62 does bounce off the mantlet of a Pershing if you are a bit lucky. Spot him again, snapshot on a T44 over here, and that actually connects. And I'm being a bit over enthusiastic here. Snapshot into the Centurion, that hits. Because I'm trying to be smarter here than that's good for me. I'm trying to catch this T44 here on the left, and I do catch him. I do get a shot in, but then I move down. I miss the ram kill. I have to move back, but I take some quite big hits, and I'm down to 250 hit points. Small bit of wiggling. Still, I'm not re-camoed, and here we are back to 250. I'm not killed luckily, so I move all the way back, try to let camo reset again and be supportive. This is not how you want to be playing. It's not how you want to be playing a Pershing or any tank for the matter, because I'm a one-shot to anyone on the field now. I can shoot this FV 183. It's a big gun to take out, so any shot you can take into him, that's fine. I'm trying to engage the Centurion, but he moves away. Same goes for the T62. Spot it again. So back into cover and let our heavies, our tier 10 tanks, slug it out with the rest. Things are looking good. 3-0 for us. There are two tanks on the right of me going down quickly now. There's one of them, and there goes the other one. And that leaves the E75 and the IS-7 as the last two remaining tanks. They don't pop out. That's unfortunate. I can't get a shot in, so I decide to relocate back to my original position. And like we saw on that Lost Temple map, I can pen the sights of an IS-7. So that's what we're gonna do over here. Get one more shot in. And there we go. Spotted again, but that IS-7 is now charged by a E5, and that's 7-0. Bit low on damage. Could have been more if I had been stupid enough to charge down that hill and lose a lot of hit points. But still quite a good game where I made myself useful, I think. The Pershing makes a good platoon in my opinion with the T44. We've looked at the map over here. We have one more medium and we have two tier 8 mediums. They have one tier 8 medium. So we're moving up the flank. We have spotted their 3 mediums. I've put 3 shots into all of them with none taken in return. That's good. I do get one shot in from the T20 and I bounce one of his frontal armor. And you can see he's doing exactly the same as I, working the ridge line, taking shots over the ridge, exposing only his story. He's doing a good job. And he's moved off now, trying to fight another fight. Initially I wanted to chase him, then I decide to help out the guys here on the left, because that Pershing has gone to make, I don't know, a last stand or something. But he's in all kinds of trouble now because he's all alone. I take a quick look on the IS-3. He is facing this way, so we have to be quick. And like we saw on that video with the KV-4 on Castilla, when you have a lot of guns pointing your way, hit points melt away like snow in the sun. APCR on this IS-3. He's in the open and he's not... he hasn't turned his hull good enough for me. I bounce a shot I think from him. get another win in, and then he shoots the brick wall in front of me. Fine, thank you for your troubles, and gone. IS, snapshot on the move, into his side, that's good. I want to take another kill, but hey, there's a T20 again. On the move shooting, past the Yak Panther, shoot the IS on the back, and we catch him on the reload. Thank you. And now that leaves just one Yak Panther to clean up. And there we go. Simple game, good platoon made with the JJK. And at least just one last battle at mines. Top tier again, tier 8 battle. So what do you do when you're in a medium? You blow your speed boost and you rush up the hill. Hill means map control. When you control the hill, you usually control the map and you usually win the match. The combat is a bit quicker than the Pershing, but I managed to land a shot into him. He shoots one into the ground, and here I shoot his gun. No damage done. I actually bounce a shot off the gun of a Cromwell. How's that for a derp moment? No one so far coming up again, so I decided to go for the Cromwell, but I now notice there's someone behind me, and it's an IS-3. So I have to take out the Cromwell pretty quick. I can get another shot in. He misses a few, gets one into my side now. And I do manage to take the Cromwell out. I also take a hit from the IS-3, so I have to be quick now, switch to APCR and hope for the best. Because that IS-3 can bully me very much. And he'd be quite able to comfortably win against me. I shoot his tracks, put one into his side now. Reduce him to 2 shots, but I'm definitely a 1 shot. So I decide to reverse down this slope, hopefully get a bounce. I do, but I didn't reverse down the slope. I parked myself against a big rock. Thank you for your troubles. Shoot him. No, shoot his tracks. Reload, reload, reload. Now I reverse down the hill. He has to adjust his aim, and just before he can fire me, I can fire one into him and take him out. I was thinking that T-34 Independence was on the hill. It turns out he wasn't. Independence gets killed, then the T-34 gets killed. I'm a bit annoyed at first because I was hoping for a sort of Rosenii. And now this IS-3 says Campus F Mother. That means all 3 reds, remaining reds, will probably be here, and they are. I can take out the VK now. Hellcat is pointing my way. I have to turn back. He's shooting someone else now. Yeah, shoots the IS. He pops back again. He has camo mounted, obviously, because he goes off my radar pretty quick. I shoot him. I can't get a shot on the KV. I actually can because there's 5 hit points left on him. That means I have a top gun now. I reload, pop out, wait for the Hellcat to reappear again because our team is closing in on him. And that's the last shot. 5 kills for me. First class medal, a Spartan for that ricochet that IS-3 got off me. And I think this is a nice game to end my first review on. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subscribing. I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve. And all the best for 2016, and I'll see you all back on the channel then. Cheers for now. Happy tanking.